In season 2, obviously, we see your characters learning from what they experienced in season 1 and applying it to how they survive. But what about you two as actors? What's an example of, like a filming tip or trick, especially for filming on location, that you learned in season 1 that made filming season 2 a little easier this time around?
Oh, bug spray. That's what
Yeah.
that's what I always had. Because didn't Jenna ended up having a leech on her shoe?
Jenna had a leech on her shoe.
Yeah, so I learned that about filming on location. Bug spray.
I think it was on her shoe.
Yeah, I know, right? And then Jenna and Sarah took a picture with the leech on Jenna's shoe.
As one would.
Yeah.
That was the smart move.
They're pretty fascinating. I think something I've learned about shooting on location is that I mean, it's important to get a good night's sleep. I don't know, even after those long days, sometimes I've found myself, like, I guess wired or just wanting to have like time to myself at the end of the night. So I would stay up way past my bedtime. But it does really help when you're in the elements. I mean, it's just, not only are you outside all day, but you also have to, do your job and fulfill what the character needs in that moment. And just making sure that you're as ready as you can be to do that.
I feel like that applies to like any job out there.
Yeah,
I should probably take that advice to heart. That kind of paves the way into my next question for you, Sarah. And I mean, this is the highest compliment, but I don't think there's any TV series character who stresses me out more than Leah. Like, she's at an 11 nonstop. So I guess what is the key to doing all of that and keeping the bar that high in that respect, but without burning yourself out?
To be honest, I think playing this character has unlocked a new sense of anxiety for me because her heart is racing all the time. But I think it's like, when you really think about what she's going through and what all the girls are going through, and then the crushing realization that no one really believes her or understands what she's trying to communicate about what she believes is happening on this island. When that comes into the reality of as the actor, I think it sort of just would make anybody, on edge and wired and, just sort of informs itself, I think. And then, but at the end of the day, it's the performances that everyone else is, giving themselves to that make Leah as seem as, I guess, neurotic at times as she is. She wouldn't seem, I think, as neurotic if it weren't for the reactions and the ripple effects that it has on everyone else on the island.
I have a million follow-up questions, but we will wait for spoilers for that. Before we get there, though, Rain, for you, it kind of feels to me a little bit like not only are you playing your own character this season, but you're also kind of responsible for keeping Nora's influence alive throughout as well. So what is the key to doing what you need to do with Rachel, but also, I guess, kind of tapping into the importance that character played in season 1 and beyond when she's not physically there?
Yeah, I think obviously still remembering key moments and special moments between Nora and Rachel from season 1. But also I think just for me, I have sisters myself. So to kind of somewhat walk a fine line of living in that world of imagining them not being with me is, I think, something anybody can relate to, of like when you have siblings or just someone that you love dearly, to the fear of them not being there. And so I think that's how I played with Rachel, of really just coping and dealing with that throughout the entire season. And that's the way I kind of was keeping Nora alive, and as well as the writing was giving me that as well.
All especially well done. All right, I'm putting up the spoiler warning now so I can dig into some stuff, talk about everything freely. We will label everything appropriately. Sarah, what was it like finding out that you were going to be able to film with Ben Folds?
Yeah, that was such a surprise. I mean, I had listened to Ben Folds' music. I was familiar, and then just having it's such a change it was such a change to work on those scenes. Not only was it different in Leah's mindset, was very heightened, but just like the tone of everything, and working with Ben, who, hadn't done the season before or the 6 or so episodes leading up to that with us. It just struck a totally different tone. It it was just this weird dream-like space. And that was really interesting to inhabit, just because it was also like divorced from the rest of the experience in the sense of having like working with someone new who hadn't done the rest of the season with us. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was really cool to hear him play the music live. Like there was a grand piano on the sand, and I had like a mini Ben Folds like private concert, which is pretty cool.
And you did
And
so amazing in
loved
the
it.
scene. Just wanted to like say that she does amazing in those scenes. They were really, really great.
They were very, very, I was like tickled when he first appeared on screen. I'm like, no way, they're doing it. And then like you went hard into it and it's very effective. Another spoiler one for you, Sarah. So like, I know you probably don't know what the future holds for the show just yet, but for you, just in terms of being able to shoot that final moment of season 2, where is Leah's head at for you? Because we don't get to spend too much time with her, but like my God, that is a guttural and very loaded scream at the end. So is that a moment of, I guess, expressing, frustration and loss of hope, or more like a battle cry where like, you did this to me again and I'm going to get you kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess it's probably a hybrid. I think that moment, it's really that whole episode, I think, leads up to, it's the first time that Leah has really had like assurances that she is right. It's not that she just has like feeling deep in her stomach, that instinct that is so alive inside of her. But it's the first time that, she's finally caught Gretchen, and she's in control of this racing mind, and it's helped her figure it out. And I think it's in that she's so used to things like falling through her hands. Like she gets like 90% of it right in the first season and parts of the second season. And it's just like that 10% that she gets wrong. That's why it slips away from her. That's why she can't convince the group. That's why she can't convince Fatten. But that she wasn't wrong this time, and she had a plan. And then somehow they were still just like a half a step ahead of her. And I think it's that like deep frustration that it wasn't my fault this time. It was, yeah, it's like, it's just not right. Like there's so many moments in life like that where you're like, oh God, it's not that I wasn't prepared. I did all of it right. And then yet somehow I failed.
I feel for her, but it means I get more of the show, so it's fine. And I'd be more bummed that they're kicking me out and I don't get to ask Rain my spoiler questions right now, but I think we get to talk again soon. So brace yourself. I got a long list of them. Huge congratulations. And thank you for season 2. I loved it yet again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.